Okay, we're going to make beef jerky from a roast. First, of course, you will need a roast. This is eye of round. You want something lean. You know, you don't want a lot of fat in jerky, obviously. It doesn't cure out too well. It's one of these little critters right here. Tenderizers, good sharp knife, pineapple juice. And if you like it spicy like us, you want red pepper flakes. Here's your two main ingredients: brown sugar and pineapple juice. Now the pineapple juice is supposed to be fresh or frozen because there's an enzyme in the fresh pineapple juice called bromelain that tenderizes the meat. But I've used pasteurized and it works for me. So, and some onion powder, garlic powder, some black pepper. Now, like I said, spice this up ever how you want it, and you'll just have to tweak this recipe. I've been messing around with this for quite a few years. So, but your basic ingredients is brown sugar, pineapple juice, fresh if you can get your hands on it, and a roast, and something to let it set in your fridge for about 3 days. Alright, so you want to trim the fat off. Like I said, this don't have much on it, so it won't take too long if I don't slice my finger off. Got an Opinel number 9, I think is which one this is. Keeps a good edge. This is the carbon steel, not the stainless. So I'll get the rest of the fat off of this and then show you the next step. Well, I'm struggling to find a sharp knife. You can see that's got a little fat in it, but you want it about 1/4 inch thick. And get this cut off here, and then I'm going to take the hammer and smack it around a little bit. So stay tuned and I'll show you that. Take your slice of meat, lay it on a piece of clear wrap. Take a hammer to it. Then you want to take each piece and slice it into strips. You want to cut it into strips. These little veins of fat, you want them out of there. Here's another one. And there'll be a little bit in there, but just want the main ones out of there, the bigger one. And like I said, just cut it into strips. If you want wider strips, obviously you can do that. So, I'll finish cutting this up. Okay, now for your marinade. 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Don't remember if I mentioned soy sauce, but you want a little soy sauce to counteract the sugar that's in the, obviously the brown sugar and then the pineapple juice. I do 3-4 splashes. This isn't exact science. Like I said, you'll have to tweak it. This is onion powder. I'm going to say about a teaspoon. Same with your garlic, you know, it's pretty stout. And again, depending on your tolerances, you can just go with black pepper, but we pretty much eat pepper flakes and everything, so. Dump your pineapple juice in there, just a little dab first. whisk. Get that sugar broke up. Stir it in. Then you take your strips, just kind of lay them in your, whatever it is you're using. I'd prefer glass, but this plastic container here, where it's got a flat bottom, it makes it a little more convenient for laying these strips out. And the way I do it is put a layer of meat in there, and then I'll dump some of this in. Then I put another layer of meat on top of that, and by the way, I crisscross them. In other words, your next layer goes like this. And then you just keep repeating this process until you have all your meat in there. Okay, so there you go. All the goodies are in there. Now this goes in the refrigerator. I usually let mine go about 24 hours. Then I'll turn this and kind of move it around a little bit. And usually go for at least 2 days. You want at least 48 hours. Sometimes I let it go longer than that. So we'll get it out tomorrow and stir it a little bit. Maybe turn some of those pieces of meat. So got this out yesterday and stirred it up. It's not the most attractive looking marinade at this point, is it? But trust me, the finished product's pretty good. So put this on Friday. It is Sunday at noon, and we're going to put this in the dehydrator after I put it over here and let it drain a bit. Alright, it's been draining for about 15 minutes. Myself, I like to put a little black pepper on there. Again, it depends on what your spice tolerances are. So you want to put this on while it's still wet because it sticks a lot better. We like stuff warm around here, so. Alright, now into the dehydrator we go. Alright, got our jerky in the dehydrator. Got it peppered nicely. Make sure your dehydrator's set to 160, 71 Celsius. And we'll let this go about 4 hours, and I'll take this out and we'll turn it. And I usually switch racks. It's not going to be that important since we just got 2 racks full, but we'll do it anyway. So 4 hours from now we'll check on it. So it's been 4 hours. Got a little shrinkage going on here, so now I may try to reduce these down to 1 tray, but looking good. So I'm going to flip this and continue the dehydrating process. Okay, we got it flipped. We're down to 1 rack now. It's hard to believe that roast is reduced down to this, but you know, this is why they made jerky to begin with. Drying it preserves it, and less weight. I mean, you know, come on. Can you imagine packing a whole roast around in the woods? So we'll let this go another 3 or 4 hours, and we'll see what we got. But yeah, I tried a piece. Wasn't quite sure if it was done, but it was good. Yummy. it's been 8 hours. I can unplug this without spilling our hot sauce. There you go. So we'll let this cool. In case anybody's wondering if it's edible at all, I was trying to find a small piece because we have this promised to someone. Good stuff. When this cools, bag it up, and you can put it in your refrigerator or freezer depending on how long you want to keep it. So that's how I make beef jerky. Like I said, when you start with this recipe, you'll want to tweak it to whatever your tolerances are as far as spices. You can add more garlic, less garlic. Just depends on what you want. But this stuff is delicious and it's easy to make. So there you go. That is how we make the homemade beef jerky. So, and by the way, you can do this with venison, elk. I want to try it with beaver meat. Haven't done that yet. So just you know, with wild game, you want to leave it froze so long. That's what they recommend. But this good stuff. Try it out and let me know how it turned out. So thanks everybody for watching, and catch y'all later.